loves, welcome to my channel, and today we are looking at several things. The first thing we'll be looking at is we'll be doing a review. We'll also be doing a prompt, and I'll be showing off my new sketchbook. So let's hop to it. Of course, before we get started, I do have my disclaimers. I live near a major highway here in the country of Belize, so you will hear those motor vehicles in my backgrounds. Where I live, also, there's a lot of wildlife, primarily a lot of birds, so you will hear them calling, chirping, and crying in my background. And thirdly, I have dogs. And if anyone come near the house, or if anybody disturbs them, you will hear my dogs start barking. You will also hear my neighbor's dogs start barking if the same thing should happen. So I'm sorry for those disclaimers. And with that, we get back to our regular scheduled program. Okay, as promised, we'll be looking at the Marco Renoir Fine Art Watercolor Pencils. Now, if you guys saw previous videos, I did a review of this Marco Renoir standard coloring pencils, but this time I was so impressed with those, and you're hearing the birds in the background crying and calling, that I decided to get the 72 set, and I got it at a pretty good price too, because I got it during the AliExpress 11/11 sale, which made it very cost effective. Now let's look at this coloring pencil in more details. First thing we notice about it, it comes in a metal tin, it hinges. It has a seal here, which I broke because I've used these a few times already. So it has a, right here, the seal. I already broke it. And we have the coloring pencil set. This is the swatch. So I've already swatched them out, and we'll be looking at that. Now, the way it came, it didn't come in this order or in this orientation. It actually came the opposite way, like this. But I kind of flipped it around to make it easier for me to get the individual pencils. Let me push this more to the back so we can see the colors. Yeah. And it has two trays. I believe it's two trays of 36. It comes with a little brush right here. It's a standard synthetic brush. It does have a number 5 written on it right about here. I'm not sure if you guys can see it. So I'm thinking that it's a number 5 brush. It does come with a little synthetic brush. All in all, the brush is not too bad to use, but I don't use this brush. Of course I don't. And it also comes with 2 sharpeners to the side. I guess it's just standard old-fashioned plastic sharpeners that we would use at school. It has 2 of those at the side. And now let's look at these pencils individually. Now, the pencil themselves is of a good length. I would say about between 8 to 9 inches. So it's of good length. It does come pre-sharpened, so that's also good, with a nice good point. The barrel is varnished up to I got 2/3 of it. And then it has these barcodes. Let me bring it a little closer for you to see it. It has some barcodes and numbering. It also has a indicator here that should tell you the type of pigment that is in there. It has the little Aquarel sign. It does say Aquarel. It has the pencil code number, and it also has a color number. And the opposite side of this, it has the Marco Renoir Fine Arts label. That's pretty good. And this part is covered. Okay, so with these color pencils, some of the things I need to mention is that the lead size of this is about 3.7 millimeters. So I would think that the actual diameter of the pencil is between 6 to 7 millimeters. And also the color names. As you notice, there is no color names on these pencils. However, the website that I bought it from, AliExpress, and the store that I bought it from gave us a swatch sheet or a picture of it swatched out where it had the numbering. These numbers are right here, and it coincides with the color names. Surprisingly, it's not for these exact pencils. It's actually for the Marco Renoir standard color pencils, but it also showed it for these. But this was also a part of the package. You know, like when you go on Amazon and, you know, you can select A, B, or C, which one you want to buy, and then it has the pictures of what it is like. It's something similar to that, where it had the pictures of, you know, the coloring pencils, the watercolor pencils, and then when you go to select color, it says watercolor pencils and standard pencils, 72 sets, and it gave you the entire color range. It's something like that. So I'm thinking that these numberings here also coincide with the Marco Renoir standard pencil. Now let's look at the pigment that these have, okay? My swatched. As you can see, the swatched out is not particularly very bright. It is, I must say, very good. It's a tad better than the Crayola watercolor pencils, and it's on par with the Milan watercolor pencils that I have, and the colors are very bright, as you can notice. Now, I will not say that these pencils are light fast. By all means, I don't believe they are. But I will say that they're a great practice brand for anybody or for any beginning artist. And now let's get into the other part of this video, because it's going to be long. I'm going to try to keep it under 30 minutes because we also do have to discuss that prompt list and that book. So let's get to it, okay? Okay, there's nothing much to say about this book. It's just a handmade, put together little sketchbook thingy that I made out of my Canson Imagine mixed media paper. And the reason why I put this book together is because of the prompt list. Now let me introduce this prompt list to you because it's something super exciting. And I am honored that I was given the opportunity to participate, and you can too. Okay, so I brought the camera really close and I zoomed in really close because I really do have it written on a small little piece of paper. This is the February 2020 prompt list that was created by my friend over A Quest to Art, Cobra Kai, and it's something that is super exciting for me to participate in. She decided to do a prompt, February month-long prompt challenge, and she focused this prompt challenge around fairies, and hence the name Fairuary. I'm tongue twisted. And it is hashtag February 2020. If you can see the hashtag right there, please credit her for it because this is not my prompt list. This is actually her prompt list. She also has a YouTube channel, so you can check that out. I will also link her YouTube channel where she actually do introduce this prompt list to you. And if you like, guys, you can participate. Just hashtag her in it over on Instagram. And so it's a month-long challenge for February, and this year February is a leap year, so we have 29 prompt lists. And it started out, let me read it out real quick, with day 1, dusk, glove, clock. Well, let me go by day. Day 1 is dusk, day 2 is glove, day 3 is clock, day 4 is ball, day 5 is sparkle, day 6 is arrow, day 7 is feather, day 8 is jewel, day 9 is berry, day 10 is self, day 11 is robin, day 12 is tree, day 13 is heart, day 14 is daydream, day 15 is apple, day 16 is queen, day 17 is reflect, day 18 is champion, day 19 is spring, day 20 is blue, day 21 is frail, day 22 is ghost, day 23 is warrior. Day 24 is pirate. Day 25 is goth. Day 26 is alien. Day 27 is spider. Day 28 is soldier. And for the final day, it is free. So please, it is free to participate. Just go to I'll also send a picture on my Instagram channel if you want to check that out of this, so you guys can participate. It is fun, it is exciting, and join us doing Fairuary 2020. Okay, so I have this drawing all pre-drawn up, all pre-lined up, and you guys have to excuse me if you're seeing the date here in the corner. That's because when I do these month prompt challenge, instead of doing it on the day off, I usually like to do things a couple days ahead. So if you're seeing the date of this drawing, yeah, I did it a couple days ahead because, again, I have a 12-hour work shift schedule, and it's not all the time I will have time to do things on the day off. So I usually do it a couple days ahead just to be more convenient and to fit into my work schedule and my life, basically. And so I have this little fairy, and this is for day 5, and she is sparkled. I was just thinking of a sparkling little fairy flying across the moon, just being herself, and that's what I did. And so I'm going to be using these Marco Renoir watercolor pencils. In fact, I think that's the watercolor pencils that I'll be using for the theme in this book. I'll be using these Marco Renoir watercolor pencils in this book to color these fairies. And maybe at the end of February, I'll show you what I've been doing. And let's just have to. I think I'm talking way too much. Let's see what these pencils are all about. And with this, I am finished. What can I say? I actually enjoy doing the prompt list. The prompt list is not the problem. The problem is this brush. To be honest, the problem is actually this brush. I know I said I loved it, I love using it, but one of the things I find frustrating about this brush is how it controls water. And let me demonstrate. Look at the brush. Let me grab my thing here and show you. When you pull water out, see, it comes out like in bubbles. It really doesn't give you a lot of water control, you know, and then it continuously stays moist, and then suddenly it will just dry on you, you know, like there's just bugs of dryness. So it wasn't the pencils, it was actually this brush. I know this brush would be better, but I didn't want to use this brush. I just wanted to use my water brush, and I'm suffering for it, but it's okay, because where there's a will, there's a way, and I will get to understand these brushes someday. And also, look at it. It is so beautiful. It is so bright. I know that I show you a bunch of techniques that I used to do with these watercolor pencils. I've used this is actually not a palette that I bought. It's actually just a regular container cover, but it kind of have like a textured surface on the top, and so I thought it was perfect. And instead of buying a plastic palette that I could use to scribble on pencils, I just thought this would be perfect. I don't even know where the actual container is where this covered, so I thought, before I throw it away, what I don't just use it as my pencil palette. So it just came in perfect. The only thing that's wrong with it is blue. So I do have to have a very good idea of color and color mixing because this will kind of darken some of those, but hey, I can live with it. And all in all, the pencils were actually a dream to work with. As you can see, I'm sure I've illustrated, it lends itself to a bunch of watercolor pencil techniques. I'm able to pull color from it when I scribble it on here. I'm able to color with it just like a normal regular pencil. I'm also getting used to this paper, the Canson Imagine mixed media paper. It is actually very good paper. The one thing that I like and don't like about it at the same time is that it is kind of the surface is very smooth, you know. So when it comes to color pencils, you know, it takes a while to hold on to the paper. You know, it doesn't have a lot of tooth to it. So I like it because I'm able to, it's a mixed media paper, so you're able to do watercolors on it. You know, you can use it with pen and ink, but you know, it does give you a extra work when you have to just do straight on illustrations like it. But all in all, my February Day 5 sparkle is sparkling in the night sky, and that's it. Thank you guys so much for joining me on this journey. I can't believe that my art style is now changing from what it was to now this. This is actually a change in my art style. So first I'm still cheap coloring book style, but you know, it's not as cheap as it used to be anymore. You know, first it was a 50-cent coloring book. Now I think I made my way up to $1. So hopefully by December I'll be a $10 coloring book style. But all in all, guys, thank you so much for joining me on this journey. And as always, stay safe, stay blessed, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.